some of the training techniques with weapons, what are some of the basic weapons that you start people off with?
Well, what I try to do is, and not try to sound too philosophical or too exotic, whatever. We don't want to get away from that. The basic weapons that I teach, any student, is the use of his body and his empty hands first. But going beyond that, you teach God to use his mind, because use his mind properly, and if it's coordinated, and the body follows suit. If the body follows suit, the hands work in a coordinated fashion, and the weapons become an extension of what you can do with your hands. So the hands is basically that physical thing that I teach, the physical weapon, the basic physical weapon that I teach. And then from there we go into stick weapons, various lengths and categories of stick weapons. They're called stick weapons because they're made out of wood. Then we go into non-bladed knives or swords. Non-bladed knives or swords are those weapons that are made out of metal or steel that you strike with and can actually cut or fracture, but they don't slice into the body. Then we go into the bladed weapons like the knives and the swords, and then we go into the missile type weapons, which are throwing the stars and the knives and like some of what I did today, the blowguns and all of that. And then from there we go on to, and all of these weapons then are broken down into subdivisions. Then you branch out. From a long sword you use a dagger, from a long stick you use a short stick, and you go on and on and on. And as the student progresses, it becomes a natural part of everybody here. Then they can pick up any particular weapon that I put in their hands, within reason, and they can use it effectively. So the whole idea is, using these.
Has Ninjitsu evolved through the years?
Definitely, Ninjitsu evolved. Actually, there was a time when the art form that we call Ninjitsu, because you got to bear in mind that Ninjitsu is a Japanese term. I don't know exactly what these principles were called, say in Egypt or in Africa or in Greece or in Germany or in Spain or during the time of the Moors or in China or in India. But I know it evolved. Oh, we can trace it. In fact, it has been traced. As I said before, what exists today is largely dependent on the interchange of cultures, with cultures, and what culture borrows from another culture. As no culture or people on this planet are totally independent from external influences from somebody else. Okay? Ninjitsu has been traced thousands of years before Japan became a culture within itself. And it goes beyond the earliest dynasties of China. Okay, it has been traced as far back as a village in India called Kerala, Kerala, because in Kerala, I forgot what part of the coast of India it's on. Kerala is a village where many of the warlike people of that society emerged, and ironically, these forms are practiced very much in India. And then before Kerala we go to find the Dravidians, going to Dravidia, and those people were Dravidians and practiced warlike techniques. And then we go beyond that. I once did an article, I said if we go back to the bones of civilization, we'll find those elements that actually built what is today's society. And we have to go as far back as we can, to recognize and understand what peoples studied astrology and studied the natural herbs around them and studied deception. If we read the Bible, there are two professions which are considered the longest known to man. That's prostitution and espionage. So since Ninjitsu is so strongly connected with espionage, we can't really see how it evolved, but I know how it developed into a very vital force in changing the history of countries, especially Japan, over an 800-year period when Japan was in turmoil, when political turmoil existed, and people that were itinerant, nobodies, just everyday, I don't want to say nobodies, I want to apologize for that, people that were not even warlike, but people who did not necessarily adhere to the norms of the time or the oppressiveness of the regimented type of society of Japan. These were people that will say, well, we will do our own type of free thinking and explore those areas where others will not dare to explore because of their rigid mentality. And gaining these vantage points, these advantages, these people, when the moment, it is said that heroes and great people rise at certain time in history. Nobody has to tell them when. They utilize all the resources that they had put together over the years, and from those particular families of people, very insignificant farmers and priests and people of the theater, very, very, very peace-loving people, emerged what we know today as a ninja. So they became that out of necessity to survive. So, of course, ninjutsu at its best is very curative. It's a marvelous thing at its worst. It's like looking into the gates